All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. We're super excited about our next speaker. To our audience, we ask you, just a side note, to save questions for our speaker until the end of the presentation. And I haven't introduced her yet because I want Miss Lakey. Miss Lakey, can you go ahead and introduce your friends?
Sure. I'm on mute already. I'm Elizabeth Lakey. I'm one of the transition teachers here, and this is a friend that I met back when we worked in nonprofit world. And it was a long time ago, which makes me feel old, but that's okay. And she has moved on in her career into the business world and I mean, she's written a book. I'm impressed by her. I'm excited I get to continue to follow you and see what you do. And I hope that, yeah, Markesha Tatum, take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm inspired by you and your continued work and just continue teaching. Elizabeth is wonderful. You guys, if you're in her classes, I know you already know what a treat Miss Elizabeth, Miss Lakey can be, or how she is. So I'm excited to follow your journey as well with your girls and everything. So I tip my hat off. Yes, we met a long time ago. I'll date us a little bit. I'll say my oldest is 24, and I think Elizabeth maybe met her when she was 4, possibly maybe
Yeah,
3, right?
yeah. So it really was, yeah, about 20 years ago. Wow.
Right, a little lifetime.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's been fun. But today there are several things I wanted to talk to everyone about because I've done like a lot of different businesses. And I always wanted to start with it's okay to not be good at it the first time. And I had a few businesses that I was not, it's not that the plan didn't work, but maybe I didn't have access to the right funds or have a mentor that I followed or just different things. But above all, it's a great learning experience. So you always take, what you learned from your mistakes, and then you just move on to the next thing. And so that's how I've been applying it so far. So my day job, I do work for another company, another nonprofit that is equally as heartwarming as our last nonprofit was. So it makes me feel good that I found another group similar to the experience I had before. So I do have a full-time job in addition to doing all these other little side things that I do. So the nonprofit that I work for is called Street Code Academy. And why I say I have access to my businesses, well, Street Code specializes in providing individuals access to technology. We even teach business classes. So I'm actually teaching this quarter a business class. It's in person. I wish it were virtual. I would definitely share it with everyone. But it just goes to show you, you find a good group to work with and you're able to still utilize all your skills. So it's exciting to do that. Um, so let's see. Let me see. I will share a little bit of a screen with you. I'll start with Elizabeth is right. I did start a book. And the reason why I listed the book as one of the businesses because you still have to operate selling a book as a business. So a lot of authors, they will you can turn your business into a corporation, and we can go into that a little later because that's just like a lot of little details. But the purpose of treating your book like a business, it helped me to develop a marketing plan. I had to make sure I could afford to market my book, especially when you're self-published. So you're doing everything yourself. It's not like going to to a publisher and having that publisher do all the work. You're the person doing the work. So it then becomes your business. So you have to treat it like a business. And therefore, I created a marketing plan for my book, and the book is called The Details in Retail. And that came from after I left the nonprofit on the Central Coast. I transferred to San Francisco State from a junior college, actually, in San Luis Obispo called Cuesta College. So when I came up here, I just got like a small part-time job in retail. And I took a lot of those stories and then I developed a book from that experience. So you can see how different life paths take you to in different directions. Like I would have never thought of writing a book if I had not had that experience. So I treated the book as a business. The next thing I did during COVID, which a lot of you are doing now, is you have a virtual school, and there were not as many opportunities available to me during that time. And so I then created a virtual preschool, and that too was a business because I'm marketing myself on social media. I had to come up again with a plan to see if I can afford to do this business. What was it taking away from the family, or how much of an investment did I need? And just technology, like, did I need a new laptop? So those are like, the financial plan part of your business. So you always have to have your marketing and your finances together. And then the next thing I did, I kind of did this on and off. Well, I still do it. What I should say is it's a business, but I treat it for my personal travel probably more than booking clients. I think it's about 50-50 now. Like I have a few great clients, and then I book my personal travel. So my purpose of becoming a travel agent was actually to just learn the world. I wanted to be better at geography. So I said, oh, this will be fun. Let me travel and I'll learn geography. The travel agent business has been probably the most challenging, especially during the COVID, because no one was traveling. So you had to pivot and just do something different and become creative. And figure out different ways. If it's your only income, you definitely want to give more energy into it. I was fortunate enough to just be doing it for fun, and I didn't have to rely on it as my sole way to help support my family. But it's a really fun business. Again, you want to look at the agencies that you're going to join. You can join a host agency, and that's an agency that's already established, which is a little easier. I recommend that. Or you can start off on your own and you would apply for these special travel agency numbers. There's some small fees involved, and then there's yearly dues, but that's where your business plan will come into play. You would calculate all of those expenses. Even just having a monthly host fee is an expense you want to include as well. Like, what is this going to cost you yearly? How many clients do you need per month to sustain or to even just break even? You want to always calculate what your commissions will be on your travel plans. And let's see. So I feel like I went really fast. So the book. So I'm the author of The Details in Retail, and it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So you can go online, you can order it. The reason why I listed those two main sites is because of the marketing that I use for those two in particular. So I use Instagram a lot to market that book. And the reason why is because I can hashtag Amazon and Barnes & Noble. They're pretty popular, so it's easy to get the word out. And as far as my, we would call this type of business something that has residual income. Now, I wouldn't say I get it every month, but there's a few months where I might make a couple of dollars on my commission. So I'll get a notice, oh, you just earned $2, you sold 2 books. So it fluctuates. So I obviously don't depend on this to pay all my bills, but it is exciting to get a little notification that someone took time out of their day to go order your book and you got a little, some change on it. So that's for, oops. Oh, I got fancy with this one. Huh? I thought I had a blank slide, but ta-da! All right. So we talked a little bit about being a travel agent. Um, I love it. What I love most about being a travel agent is there's things that I didn't know about traveling that I learned as an agent. And that is that you can afford to travel if you plan. I always thought it was something you had to be really rich to do. But with the right planning, you don't have to pay for your trip all at once. So that was something I had no idea about. And I'm so excited that I can go on a small vacation and just make payments on it. So my goal for becoming a travel agent was to educate other families like you can do this. It's affordable. And then that's subjective, right? You know, some people might want to go to Tahiti. That's a little pricier, but you might want to go to Disneyland. Still a little pricey. But you can, let's say, go on a Carnival cruise. Less expensive, still a nice vacation. Your family gets to enjoy. You can take your whole family for a small amount. So I wanted to introduce those options to families. And it's something that like I said, I just didn't know about all of the opportunities there were. So that was one of the other reasons that I became a travel agent. Now, with the travel agency, part of that business is you do have to market yourself. You have to be places. You have to share and let everyone you know. Let your family know. Spread the word that way, word of mouth. You also want to advertise on social media. That's been a big thing, especially on Instagram. Now it's probably TikTok. So if you can just make a cool little video, or they're not calling it videos now, they're reels. Make a reel and just show yourself at the beach having fun. And people like to travel locally. So if you're just over here, like I live near Half Moon Bay. So I would, show myself at the beach at Half Moon Bay, having a good time. And, everyone wants to come to California. So that's always I'm in a great place to be selling travel is, California Golden Gate Bridge right behind me. Everyone wants to see that. So you don't have to be a professional traveler to become a travel agent. You learn as you go. So I would say this is probably the most fun. You put in a lot of energy, but it is fun and it'll pay off and you'll be so excited when you get that first client. And then guess what? You take your time and just be honest. If you don't know something about something, just say, I don't know, but I'll find out. And you research it, you do it, you have a happy client, they're going to bring you many more clients. I had started with one client. That one client, oh my goodness, I believe they brought me at least 15 to 20 customers from that one person. And this was just me doing it part-time. And then two of those customers brought me new customers. So it just started growing and growing. And I had to say no to a few. I had to turn them away and refer other agents because it became not too much, but I wanted to make sure I was giving everyone the right amount of attention for that. So let's see. Was I still fancy? Oh, there we go. A virtual preschool. This was fun. I had a lot of fun. I was doing it full time last summer, but I scaled back once I started my new job. I still teach, but just not virtually. The virtual preschool, you first want to go and you can go to a junior college and you can teach with an AA degree. So you can get an AA degree in early childhood education. And then you can start teaching at a preschool. And then when you get more practice with the in-person, it's easier to transition online and do a virtual preschool because there's still like a lot of families that are home and would like something for their young kids to do. So with the virtual preschool, I've worked with different platforms similar to what you guys are learning on now. And I post videos. Now this got very creative. Like I mentioned, equipment, having the right laptop, making sure your internet connection, all of those things. You still want to develop a business plan for it because there's just a lot of little details that you don't want to miss. Like you still doing your marketing. I had to create a whole new Instagram page for this preschool because you don't want to use your personal Instagram and and have kids. It's just you keep it separate. That's what I say. Separate all of them. A lot to manage, but it's just a little switch out the profiles. But so again, you're doing your social media marketing. You are marketing to your friends and family. And then your plan is how much do you have to pay to join a host agency or virtual preschool or just a virtual platform. There's several out there. See what's cost effective, what your benefits are to each one, and then you choose one, and you still want to factor that into your monthly expenses with your business, and calculate the time you're putting in too, because you don't want to put in 10 hours, let's say preparing a presentation, teaching your class, and you might only have one student. So you want to just always make sure you are using your time wisely and balancing everything out and making it worth your time. The virtual preschool was fun. I taught 3 different classes. There was one that I created a curriculum for. It's a multicultural class. And then I had just a basic preschool. It depends on what your focus is. I feel pretty strongly about making sure there's representation for all the students. So that's why I created the multicultural classroom. And it was really fun. I had quite a few students in that class. And then I had I wouldn't call it a basic curriculum. It's a traditional curriculum. And so I had students in that class as well. You can even fine tune it to the point where you can create a curriculum that's just based on math, just a quick little fun. I called it Caterpillar math. And so it was geared towards the preschooler. So they had to count all the body parts of the caterpillar, like each circle was something. So you can have a lot of fun with starting your own virtual preschool. Or if preschool is not your thing, you can also, teach K through 5 or 12 as well. But you still have to treat everything like a business, just so that it's your business. And if it's something you want to keep doing, it's best to track your expenses, your marketing, and always just be aware of those things. And taxes is one thing. That's you'll learn that later. I will not complicate your lives right now with taxes, but that's why we track all of this information, what you're spending to create, what you spend on your internet, like all of that stuff matters. So your internet bill, your hosting fees, the commission you might get, all of that, whatever you spend, you just always want to track it. And you can just use a basic Google Sheets. So, all right, I'll pause there. I feel like I've just been talking and talking.
This is really good stuff, Markesha. Wanted to open it up are you okay with us opening it up for some questions?
Absolutely.
Okay. Anyone
Well,
have?
I want to know what your favorite thing is out of all the things that you've done.
Oh, that's a tough
question coming up.
I'm going to say my favorite thing was the virtual preschool.
Oh, cool. Are you still doing that?
I paused it for a bit. The last 3 months, I think I stopped it about 3 months ago, just so I can have my Saturdays back to myself. But yeah, it's tough because when you're already teaching Monday through Friday, and then I was doing Saturday mornings, I loved it, but my family, kind of side eye you sometimes, like,
yeah,
it's making us be quiet again, like, shh.
Yeah.
So, but that I guess I just really enjoy young minds, all the questions. Oh, bless you, Jonathan.
I
Have
have
you looked
sorry.
into OutSchool? Have you heard of OutSchool?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually use that platform. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, OutSchool is
I
fun.
thought about it for some of our students who have kind of particular skills that if
Mhm.
you know, like you said, there's definitely marketing involved in getting your class out there, but especially if you have kind of a niche skill or something that maybe is a little bit different to somebody else and they can market it and you can teach it online, like, and earn money from it. That's
You
amazing.
seriously can. I wish I had like a real talent,
I know.
because they're
Me too.
they don't require, you don't have to have a degree, and which is
Yeah.
exciting. They really embrace individuals who have like a true talent. Like there's guitar lessons. Someone led a book club on,
Oh, cute.
I know some of your students. What is the book? Oh, well, it's a younger book. What is that? It's the dog, cat kid, and something.
Oh, yeah. I know
That
what you're talking
series, right?
about. Yeah, yeah. Cat kid, dog man and cat
Dog
kid. Yeah,
Man, yes.
yeah, yeah.
They hosted weekly book clubs,
What a great idea.
right? And the kids, the way they participated, because I signed my daughter up for it actually, and she loved it. Every week she tuned in, and it's like a group of kids, and they're discussing the book, answering, like going over the setting, the conflict, and it was really fun.
And
Um,
these people who are hosting that as the teacher, they get paid to do that, right? Like
yes,
they
you
come
get
up with a concept, they host that meeting. But how fun is that to host a meeting about like a book club for kids? Very
seriously,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
Or just teaching. There's art classes. If you're really good at drawing, you can help someone, show them, a few of your techniques. 20 minutes. It's not even a long time. The longest class, I think my class just ran for like 45 minutes, but I could have cut it down to a half hour. But I wanted, I feel like a full 45 minutes to an hour was appropriate for the little kids.
I
Um,
really like what you said about like trying new businesses or trying new things, like not having your hopes up that it's going to go perfect the first time. It's okay that it's not, and you just keep trying or you go into doing something different depending on where your life takes you.
yes, I think it helps to be flexible to pivot in different directions. And if you can, if you're lucky, which I feel everyone should do this, is just do something you enjoy, whatever you're passionate about, make it happen, do something with that. So it makes it easier to get
Yes.
up and go to
To
work.
keep going and be motivated, because if you're doing your own thing, you need to have that internal motivation to want to do it, especially if it's your own business. You have to love it, I would assume, to keep at it.
Yes, you do. The other thing I forgot to mention, which is helpful, is to do a SWOT analysis. And that's like your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. So it's SWOT. Um, and that was helpful because you knew what your strengths were, and then you know what your weaknesses are. And those areas that, I don't like, I think I should change that acronym. I don't want to call it weaknesses, maybe challenges. Um, find a mentor that's good in those areas and to help you. So doing that analysis, the SWOT analysis, is helpful because you'll learn more about yourself for one, and just do one just on yourself in general. Don't even worry about a business. It's a good learning tool. I learned that in a marketing class I took. The assignment wasn't to do it for the business you were starting, but to just do it for yourself. And then you were able to just see different areas that you were stronger in, and then some that were more challenging. But definitely get a mentor, or just follow someone. Be careful with YouTube, but find someone that's credible, or ask for advice. Like if you're into finances, go go to a bank and ask someone, hey, do you have time to explain this to me? It could just be that simple. Or can you refer me to someone, or ask your family, your friends, your teachers are good resources for helping to facilitate a mentor as well. So.
I love that. That came up in a previous session today, was talking about, if you're not sure of what you want to do, like go and talk to a counselor and just put it out there. And then that conversation leads to another conversation, or maybe an opportunity, like just putting yourself out there and asking those questions. Like you said, you can walk into the bank and ask somebody to explain something to you. They'll do that. So that's a really good idea. Okay, I want to know what the T stood for in the SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and
threats.
Threats. That's a good one.
And that's a tough one, because it's hard. You don't really know. So a threat can be anything. It could be, I don't have enough capital. That's to threaten my business. You don't have enough money to keep it going. It could be competition. How do you stay competitive? So yeah, the threats, it's going to be different for everyone, or for different businesses, but yes.
Yeah, I really like that. I wrote that down. I will use that again with my students, because I feel like, just like what you said, when you realize your strengths and weaknesses or challenges, then you can see where you can, focus more on your strengths, and then find support in the weaknesses. Like that's an area that I have to reach out for help and find support.
Yes, because we can't know everything, right? It's just impossible. Like there's not enough time in the day to know everything. So you just utilize your resources, your teachers, your counselors, the bank manager.
Yeah.
Especially when if your parents are going to the bank, they are paying for the services of that bank manager. Yeah. Go ask all those questions, because it's something we pay monthly bank fees. So
I never thought of that. I think that's
go ask them, right?
I think that's a really great idea. Yeah.
Get that coffee mug and ask some questions.
Yeah. I really like that.
I have a follow-up question.
Okay. Anybody else? Sorry, I could just keep talking to her. So go ahead.
This is great. So I was going to ask you, like, what advice would you give? And you just gave us I feel like a ton of advice. So I have another question.
Okay.
And that is, what is your favorite thing and what is your least favorite thing about owning a business?
Oh, my favorite thing is definitely the flexibility, the room to be creative and take it in any direction I'd like. That's probably my most favorite, aside from the flexibility. The least favorite, I'm going to say, is it's challenging, it's fun, but it's hard, is the marketing. You want to make sure getting that perfect formula for marketing can be challenging. What I should have done was recruited a marketing intern from a JC or somewhere, and gotten that help to help me get the word out more, or just come up with a plan. Because the marketing plan, I always say, that's almost like that's like a separate business in itself, because there's just so much involved, and you want to get it right, because you want to reach the right people. So it's fun, exciting, but it's oh man, I got to market this now. Okay, what's the plan? So I would say you come up with your business plan. The finances, I think that kind of falls into place, because there'll be different pathways to get the financing. But the marketing plan, that's gonna, keep you going. So it's challenging. I would say it's the least favorite, just because of how intense it is. But it's also kind of fun. I don't even know if I'm helping at all, Jonathan.
Yeah, that was great.
That's a great response. What would you say? So, our population, high school students, adult transition or students who are in an ATP program. What would you say? So many of these students have gifts, they have abilities, they have they're very creative. Some of them that we work with, they have had businesses, but for that student who maybe they have a gift, maybe they can crochet, and they're
Oh,
like, I want to turn this into a business. What would you say? But they're overwhelmed with all the information out there. What would you tell them their next step or the first step they should take in starting a business?
okay. Your first step, I would say, look at a business plan, but don't look at the one. Open up Canva. I don't know. Do you guys use Canva? Canva has these amazing templates. You guys got
Okay,
to try
write it down.
canva.com.
Okay.
And what we'll do to our listeners is we'll put some of these links in the description in the YouTube. So we'll put it in the
Oh,
description
nice.
so you guys will be able to access them. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, thank you for that. And I meant to put that on the slide deck. You just reminded me. So Canva has a lot of, you just type up in the search engine, and it's like a graphic design tool with everything. So it's like Adobe Illustrator, but more user friendly. So it'll
Okay.
whip out. I didn't realize Canva. I used it like a few years ago, but I am learning the mass abilities. There's just so much there. I thought, oh, Canva's
Okay.
doing this now. Okay, all right, Canva, I see you. You can just type in anything. So I would go type up, you can do a business proposal, and they give like really simple templates to just work from, because you don't want, um, when I first started, I think I used a template from Microsoft or something. I'm not hating on Microsoft, but if you're starting off, it's a lot of information just like right there. I like the Canva templates because it start, something very simple to something, it just, gradually
Mm.
gets, a little more in, what's the word I'm looking for? It can go from basic to advanced. So
Okay.
you just like find like where your um strengths are. It's like go back to my SWOT analysis. So, you know what you can comprehend easily. Like it just depends on how much information you are ready to digest or take in, and you can just base it off of that. So I like to keep things simple, easy, so we can just get it done. And then just start with that, your basic template, answer those questions on it. And it's a real, each one has like a great guide that would help you with the questions. And there's even like examples. So you can even just use the examples. You can Google how to write a business plan. But the first thing, yeah, just say, okay, I crochet, what can I do with it? I want to crochet hats. Okay. Look at the markets for different hats. You really don't have to be concerned about this other person over here crocheting hats, because your designs are going to be different because you're two different people, you're different artists. So that's why I say there's room for everyone. And there's going to be someone that likes your designs, and then they're going to tell someone else, right? And then it's just going to go on and on and on. And then they might not tell someone else, but they're going to buy 10 hats because they're giving them away as gifts, right? So you'll just start with, okay, I'm going to crochet, this many hats. Then you start calculating, okay, how much yarn do I need? How many needles am I going to go through? Those little details, right? And then just put those questions, into your business plan. And then that'll just get you going. And then you'll be like, okay, I'm about to do this, do that. Next thing you know, you got this like ridiculous business plan. And you're like, all right, I'm ready. And then have someone look over it, ask someone you trust, ask a teacher, um, reach out, go back to that bank manager because they can help you with that finance part, right? I'm like about to go utilize my bank manager now. I didn't even think about that before.
It's a great idea. It really is. I
You
feel
know,
like they want to help in that way too. And they have the time because they're there
mhm,
working, and they have the time to sit down and talk to you about it. And sometimes when we come up
yes.
to people who maybe are off work, that's also good to network with people who are in that business but are off work, sometimes they don't want to talk about it that much outside of
Right.
work. But like that's their role, to be there to help you with questions like that. So I like that a lot. I love what you said, that there's room for everybody, because I can see how that can be overwhelming if you want to start a business where you know there's other people doing the same thing out there. But I love that yours is going to be different because you are a different person, you have different designs, you have your own thing, and there's room for everybody to be successful in that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really motivational.
All right. Are there any other questions? All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Thank you so
Markesha.
much.
Question: if some of our students who are interested in business and they're watching this recording, they weren't able to make it today and they have questions, is it okay if we
Mhm.
reach out to you? And we'll definitely filter the questions and maybe send you one list if we got like 2 or 3 or a few students interested. We won't give them all your email
Oh,
addresses.
no. Oh, well, I don't mind that either.
Okay.
Too, so
All right. Well, thank
whatever
you.
you guys are comfortable with, I'm open.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You bet. All
Thank you
right.
for sharing your knowledge in business, and we appreciate you taking the time today. We're super excited to share this out with our entrepreneur students.
Thank
We have quite
you.
a few. So
I hope I
We did.
got
I'm like so pumped.
everything in there.
well, it was great.
All
Yeah,
right.
and
Thank you for having me. This was fun. I was glad it was shared, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Oh, good. I appreciated you
we would love
responding.
to
Like
have you
it's
back.
such a nice thing when people volunteer their time, because it's not like, it's really sweet and nice when people are willing to share their knowledge and share what they are doing and what they love. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, the future. We want y'all to succeed. We want you to win. So
And we want to
Oh,
have you
thank you.
back. We would love to have you back. Maybe we'll get you on one of our podcasts or something. One
oh
of
my
these
goodness,
days.
that would be awesome.
Oh, good. Yay.
Yeah.
I'll have a more elaborate and
This was great. Don't be
jazzy
so
That was
hard on
great.
yourself.
It was totally great. You even had animation stuff in there. It was great. I was like, sometimes it's just helpful, as you're talking, to have kind of the guide sometimes, but I thought it was great. I liked your pictures and stuff.
Thank you.
All right. So that
Right.
concludes today,
Long
everyone.
time now.
We have another one coming up at 2 o'clock. I'm not gonna spoil who it is, but we have someone who works in the arts and music, and they're actually related to one of our teammates. I'm not gonna say
Oh,
who.
fun.
I like to keep the
It's not
anticipation.
me, but okay, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, here, so
So we'll see you students at the next one.